Hello and welcome to the channel. This is my review of the Orville Season 1. It's actually pretty good, but I do have one minor thing that I didn't really like so much was actually Episode 7 called Majority Rule. It was a bit of a cringy episode. But otherwise, the rest of the episodes are pretty good. So there are 12 episodes in the season. The first one is Old Wounds, which is actually a pretty good pilot episode that introduces all of the different characters of the Orville and whatnot. Episode 2 is Command Performance, which I actually can't quite remember what happened in that episode off the top of my head. It took me a few days to watch all these episodes. The third one I do remember. It's called About a Girl. It was definitely interesting. One of his crewmates, Boris, ends up having a kid and stuff like that, and it's a very, very interesting episode all about that. Episode 4, If the Stars Should Appear. I forget what that one was about. The next one, Priya. That one was a pretty good one. Oh, right, If the Stars Should Appear. I remember that one now, yeah. They find a derelict ship that has basically a civilization on board, which was very interesting. One of the crew members almost dies, but thankfully they don't. It was pretty suspenseful about halfway through the episode, which is definitely nice. Priya, that was an interesting one. Very Star Trek-y. A little bit of elements of like Andromeda in it. Yeah, reminds me. There were some elements that remind me of Andromeda in that one. And then episode 6, Krill. That one was a good one. You learn about one of the enemy species of the Earth Federation and stuff like that, and it was that was a good one to watch. Then episode 7, Majority Rule. That one I found a bit cringy, as I said. Episode 8, Into the Fold. I remember seeing something similar in Deep Space Nine of that episode. Yeah, that was a good episode. And then Cupid's Dagger. That was also a really, really good one. That one harkens back to Old Wounds, the pilot episode of some of the stuff that happens there. And then episode 10, Firestorm. That was good. They kind of, I think they revealed something about that episode a little bit too early on. They should have let the whole thing play out and then reveal kind of what was going on a little bit later, I think. But it was still a pretty good episode. New Dimensions, episode 11. That one was interesting. They find this like pocket dimension, and it's like a 2D dimension, and it's almost like a computer circuit board. It was quite interesting. And then Mad Idolatry. That one was also a very good episode. There's definitely elements of humor throughout the whole season. It does feel a little bit like how Star Trek used to be, and Andromeda. Um, yeah, there was a few moments that I laughed out loud. Yeah, I can't wait to watch season 2. Um, yeah, it was definitely a really good show. I don't know if they released season 3 on DVD yet. So I have season 1 on DVD, and I've also got season 2. Hang on a moment. Got season 2 right here. I got them both as a bundle. Okay. Looks like there may have been some cast changes, or at least one person may have been recast. Yeah, I think they're gonna do a season 3, and then I think they stopped. But now Disney actually, I think, owns the rights, since Disney owns pretty much all of Fox except for Fox News. Would be nice if they would continue this. Just looking at the episodes here. Yeah. But yeah, this was... The Orville is actually definitely worth the watch if you haven't seen it yet. But yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of new stuff that happens in season 2. But it definitely makes sense to watch season 1 first, so that way you kind of get some of the backstory of some of the characters, especially the captain and the first officer, and their history and stuff like that. The acting was pretty good. I've seen some pretty bad acting in some stuff before, but this was actually pretty decent. The characters were not like stiff or rigid or anything. They were very lively, and the interactions between the characters seemed very natural, and yeah, it was quite good. As it really draws you in to the whole universe of the Orville, which is nice. There have been some shows that have come out recently that have been very not believable, or not like very stiff and rigid, and just the dialogue was not very good and stuff like that. But a lot of the reactions to things is very natural, especially to their surroundings and how certain events play out and stuff like that. It's very good. I'm thinking like of Obi-Wan. That was... The acting in Obi-Wan was actually not that great. Book of Boba Fett also comes to mind. Like, I guess the acting wasn't too bad in that, but just the character of Boba Fett was not that great. Like when we saw Boba Fett in season 2 of The Mandalorian, he was much better. But yeah, this is a very good show. As I said, I can't wait to watch season 2. I just kind of wish there were more episodes like there used to be. But yeah, they don't make TV shows like they used to, where you'd have like 18 or 22 episodes in a season. Like Stargate, for example, the first several seasons had like 22 episodes, then they cut it down to 20. But yeah. But yeah, I'd give the Orville season 1 like a 9.5 out of 10. Yeah, there was one episode that was I would say is a bit cringy, but all the rest kind of make up for it. Um, yeah, so I basically docked half a point for that one episode. It took me two sittings to watch that one episode. I couldn't sit through the whole thing all at once. I uh, I basically watched half of it, then I went and did some other stuff, and then I came back a few hours later and finished that episode. But all the other ones I was able to sit through in one sitting. There are 4 discs on the first season, and there's only 3 episodes on each disc, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Which I think is almost a waste of a disc. And the episode length is actually pretty decent. I don't recall off the top of my head how long the episodes are, but they didn't seem like they were too short. I think they were at least half an hour long, maybe 40 minutes. But yeah. Whereas with the more recent Star Wars shows on Disney Plus, I find their episode lengths are pretty short for what you get, and I find that I wish that the episodes were a bit longer and that they told more story and more character and world building in those episodes and stuff like that. Um, there's definitely a lot of character and world building in the Orville season 1 throughout the whole season. There's a lot of character growth for a lot of the characters. You get to understand a lot of their motives, a lot of who they are and how they think and what they'd like to do, and how they take criticism to some degree with some of them, but how they interact with each other and why they are the way they are. I think they will probably build more on that in season 2 with some of the other characters that they didn't quite touch on as much in season 1. At least that's what I'm hoping. But yeah. I think that's going to do it for this video. And this is another mask that I've got. I've got a few others. I might use this mask for when I do reviews of games and TV shows and movies and whatnot. But yeah, I got different masks for different things that I plan on doing. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good one.